Hi, friends. Checking in with you here at the end of week two. And one of the great things about my office is that I've got lots of glass and I can see the field that's behind us. And since there's so much outdoor teaching going on these days, lines and lines of kids walk past my office every day. And I normally have the windows open. And they all say hello when they go by and shout into the office. And I wave back and say hello to them. And it's one of the really great things about the day because I get to see every kid at some point during the day, every day. Um, One of the things that I saw this week, it's been a very busy week, was right outside my office there are these raised garden beds. And the pre-K came out on several days and took out all the vegetation that was planted last spring and grew all summer long, and made big piles of it in order to prepare those beds for the next season. And it was just such a great way for pre-K kids to be outdoors, but also to learn how to work together on something, because it's such a big part of early childhood education is that social experience and getting kids to work together and cooperate. I was in kindergarten yesterday toward the end of a long day, and all the children were on their mats on the floor, and they were all doing something different. Everyone was busy, and I was talking to teacher Michelle, and I stopped and I said to her, there's nothing better than this. Seeing kids engaged in learning, practicing their independence, and just having a good time with each other. Um, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't see firsthand this week, but I heard about it, including kids who went to Barclay Park with their class or went to Marshall Square Park with their class. And I heard children outside my window today talking about the books that they're reading. And speaking of reading, we've figured out how to still have a library where they can check out books. And we now have a mobile library on the porch of the admin building. And teacher Ruth has figured out an ingenious way for kids to still be able to use the library without actually going into the library. Let's see. Part of the busy week is that you no doubt have seen fencing up in the parking lot. And it's likely to be there for 8 to 10 weeks because the meeting has undertaken this project to make the meeting house more accessible to people with disabilities. And so that's going to involve picking up all the bricks that are on that brick porch and then creating a grade where it will flow directly into the meeting house. And then inside the meeting house, there's a big project so that people with disabilities can get from the meeting room into the social room via a ramp. So it's going to take a little while. It's a big project, but in the end, it's going to be fantastic for the meeting. And we're happy for them. And we thank them for letting us use the social room for the whole year as well. So that will restrict some of our movements on campus and definitely has an impact on parking. But once it's done, it's going to be very good. I'm just reflecting on the first 2 weeks of school. And really what I feel is affirmation. And I feel affirmation about the strength and the commitment of our community because I've seen so much of it in the past 2 weeks. And, since March, the phrase that we've heard over and over again is, we're all in this together. And our community has been the living example of that in the last 2 weeks. Seeing the way that parents and students have been able to comply with new routines, new ways of doing things, and seeing teachers who've persevered and persisted in finding new ways to teach, and especially those teachers who have students who are live in class and those who are also learning remotely, which is a really big challenge. And we're working on that, and I'm so impressed by everything that the teachers have done. The thing that really stands out to me is that every time we make a sacrifice and every time we make a good decision, we're showing the love and the care that we have for each other in this community. And that's really touched me the last 2 weeks. We've, as I said, we've talked about being in it together. And at this time, we need each other more than ever. So I just want to express my gratitude for everything that you've done. And I want you to remember that this weekend, because it's a holiday weekend and there'll be lots of gatherings. And I just want us all to take a moment and reflect on our commitment to each other, which has been so incredible to me throughout the summer, but definitely the last 2 weeks when we've been in person. So have a wonderful holiday weekend, and as always, I can't wait to see you next week.